Let's get it. Hobby with Cage, episode 224, brought to you by Arena Club and Bleecker Trading. I like this interesting background here. Whee! Woo! Could have talked about 500 things today, and most watched and listened to episode that I've had in a long time is 222, 2 episodes ago, Fanatics Fest versus the National. If you haven't checked that one out, go check it out. People seem to really like it. Got a lot of really good compliments, a lot of good comments on that one. A lot of people sending me DMs about it being one of the best solo episodes that I've done. I've done 200 and change of these, so that's saying something, I guess. Today, a fun one. If you can catch them, take a second and go to Cardboard Chronicles stories. Really thought-provoking. I sent some DMs myself. Basically, he was doing a comparison between the current inserts for Panini, the Kabooms and downtowns, versus the prices being paid by people for, Prism True Golds, basically. And, it's an interesting thing, right? Because his point, and I think he's right, is that the price people are paying for Kaboom golds, the gold Kabooms, is crazy, and in some instances more than a true Prism gold, which just doesn't really make much sense. And I was trying to argue with him about it. Hey, people are betting on Kabooms being the next PMG, and he correctly told me, PMGs were parallels, just like the Skybox Rubies were parallels, and that's a different story, right? It's a parallel to the card, just sort of like the gold Prism would be. My counter to it, and let's start off by saying I'm not a Kaboom fan. I mean, anybody who's listened to me for a long enough time knows that that's not a card that I love. Man, do I wish I would have bought them when they came out, because obviously, there's some buzz around it. We'll get back to that in a second, right? It's the point that he's trying to make, and I think it's accurate, right? Is the people have really gone crazy with the pricing on this stuff, and should it be worth more than the Prism Gold? And I said probably not if it were up to me, but I can understand why people do it, and here's why. In the 90s, you had the PMG green, and that's all you had. You had the PMG red, that's all you had. You had 50 Skybox Rubies. You didn't have a million other things. I know I'm making a comparison now across insert versus parallel, but even use inserts if you want. Use a Playmaker Theater, or use a hoops, slam bam, the out of hundreds, right? That's all they had. There's actually a 250 out of the hoops one as well, but you'll understand what I'm saying in a second. If you have a chance now to buy a rookie card this coming year, whether it's Cooper Flag or who name it, right? Cooper Flag is going to have 10 gold Kabooms. The Prism card, you not just have the base and the silver and all the other unnumbered parallels, but you have the gold, you have the black gold, you'll have your black gold is out of 5, you'll have your Mojos out of 25, you'll have your reds and your blues, but then there's a myriad of other different versions of the same exact card, right? Whether they're in first off the line, whether they're in fast break products, with the neon greens that were out there, and so many different versions, Tiger Stripe, Choice, Cherry Blossoms. I mean, just who knows what they're going to come up with. Kaboom is easier. It's a rookie, it's gold, it's out of 10. There's nothing else. There's a 1 of 1, and out of 10, and there's a base. So I can understand why people kind of gravitate towards that, for the scarcity, for the look of it, if you want, and just for the ease of, if you can't get a gold Prism out of 10, maybe you get the black gold out of 5. Maybe you get a Mojo. Maybe you get one of the million other parallels that they're making. But when it comes to Kabooms, you either get a base or a gold, or you really pony up for the green 1-1. So I kind of understand where it goes, right? And for whatever reason, organic, inorganic, you name it, people are putting their money in the Kaboom gold. People are putting their money in that insert. I look at Exquisite. Let's just go to 2003, right? There are 2 LeBron, RPAs there, right? You got the vertical one out of 99. You got the horizontal one that's got pretty much the same size patch, if not a bigger patch auto. and it's out of 100. So there's one more. But the pricing is crazy. Why? Because the people have spoken. You know, the folks who want to buy the cards and want to spend the money have gravitated towards that exquisite vertical RPA out of 99 as LeBron's card to have. So it's the one that's worth more money. It's worth more than anything that came out of SPX or any other Upper Deck product or anything else that's out there, right? Because that's what people want and that's what people are putting their money towards. And to say, you know, an argument against the Kabooms, I don't love them. I'm not going to buy them. Hell, I don't really like PMGs. You guys know that as well. But it's like trying to fight City Hall, right? You know, it may not make sense, but clearly that's what the masses are putting their money behind. So I would not bet against the staying power of, you know, the gold Kabooms and their pricing. And to say, you know, Panini's losing the license and it's going to switch over to Topps, so people are going to forget about Panini. I mean, it misses the point, right? I mean, Topps hasn't had a basketball license for a long time. Have people forgotten the Topps Chrome Kobe or the Topps Steph Curry rookie cards? You know, have people gone away from the Topps Chrome, you know, LeBron? No, obviously, you know, it's not a forgotten thing. Do people forget about Upper Deck because they lost the license? No. I mean, Exquisite is some of the most expensive stuff that's out there. So, you know, sure, you know, breakers are going to be pushing, you know, the top stuff because that's going to be the license. But that happens every year. Breakers are always pushing that year's product because that's what they're going to make their money on. But I think it was a great topic. That's why I do my 5 minutes thoughts on it. I give, you know, Josh Cardboard Chronicles a lot of credit for bringing up an interesting topic. You could see using his card ladder, you know, data, you can see sort of the pricing on it. And look, to sum it up, if you gave me the option of buying a true gold out of 10 versus a gold Kaboom, I'm going to take the true gold out of 10. But if you told me like the black gold, which is out of 5, I'd probably take the gold Kaboom. Because people are not gravitating toward that black gold out of 5, even as rare as it is, even if it's twice as rare as the true gold. It's not the one that people go after. And the one that people go after, that's the one you want to put your money in. 5 minutes, lasted 7.5 today. Hope you enjoyed this one. It's a little, you know, card specific, but what do you think about it? Would you rather have a true Prism gold out of 10 or the gold Kaboom? Talk to you guys soon.